Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? So there's been a lot of talk, by myself included, about next year. I believe real estate is something that moves far slower than that. I think making real estate decisions based on your expectations for next year, specifically at least in single family homes with fixed rate debt, all of those things is kind of misguided. So what I want to do today is I want to ask questions about 2025. Right? That's 4 years and 3 months away. It's enough time where we can have a debate. I'm going to propose kind of 5 or 6 questions about the general economy, which again, I will share my thoughts. I would love to hear from you. Maybe you could take notes on each of the slides and let me know what you think, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I then will also, as I always do, share with you what I expect from my business, what I think is going on with real estate in my market, with our portfolio, with our units and cash flow and all of those things. I believe it is important for you to understand that this one rental at a time is not some story I created. It's something I've invested in over the last 20 years and will continue to do it. One rental at a time, my business of adding cash flow rentals is what I do. All this other stuff is how I fill my day, how I stay excited, how I stay engaged. I am not a YouTube entertainer like some of the folks out there who go from real estate to stocks to crypto to all these other things. I stay in my lane. So again, what I ask you to do, get out a piece of paper and take notes on these questions. We're going to talk about 2025. So do me a favor, let me bring this up so we can talk about it. And again, we're doing this because I was baited. I think I created 3 or 4 videos basically calling out the fact that I thought a real estate collapse in 2021 by 40 or 50% was borderline idiotic or silly or naive or whatever you want to do. But I think talking about 2025, I think we can have a debate about that because I don't think the answer is there. I think there is a fair amount of risk that really could take the market in lots of different directions. And I certainly will have my opinion. I will certainly share it. But again, I would love to hear from you. So question number 1, again, take out a piece of paper. Let me know what you think. So if we assume today the median single family home in the US is $320,000, what do you think it will be in 2025? What I've done, and you'll see my answer in a minute, is I put it in a percentage basis. If you want, you could put a number on it because we could back into a percentage. What I would ask you is, do you think it is up, flat, or down? I think that's the real question. Again, we're talking 2025, so over 4 years away. This, again, is a national number. If you follow my course and all of this, you know I always only work locally. But this is the best number. It allows all of us to participate. Again, if you're one of my students, you can answer this for your market if you've learned it. But this is a national number. So what do you think? You can hit pause, write down your number. Again, I think I would write down first up, down, or flat. I mean, that's how I would start. But here's my prediction. I think by 2025, we're up 10 to 15%. So that's kind of like 350 to 365, somewhere in there. Again, median single family home. Now, hear me on this. I don't think it's a straight line. I think 2021 we're up. I think 2022, 2023 are flat to slightly down. But again, in mass, I believe we're up to 350, 365, somewhere in there. Again, I'm not calling for a straight line. I'm actually rather conservative on what I see in 2022 and 2023. I do think 2021 is a pretty bang up year, meaning good. But I do see, I don't think we're up 20, 25% by 2025. I just don't see it. I also don't see a collapse. I don't see it going to 300, right? I don't see a fall of 8 or 9%. So that's what I think. That's question number 1. Again, write down your answers. We got a couple more to go through. So number 2, What will rental rates be in 2025? So if you own rentals, do you think they're going to be up? Are you going to ask for more rent? Do you think they're going to be down? Right? We're going to have rent decrease. Do you think they'll be flat? Again, we're talking nationally. It's really hard to do that because I think this will be very local. Like I think rents in Manhattan and San Francisco have seen the peak. I think they do nothing but go down between now and 2025 before they recover. I think they recover, but I don't think they're higher in 2025, for example. But again, we're talking single family homes. That's what we're talking about with one rental at a time. What do you think? So here's the deal. I believe by 2025 that rents are up actually 20%. And a lot of that's going to come from, I believe, my next question is basically units, because I think it's a supply demand problem. But yeah, I think rents are up more than prices, right? I could see prices going up 5 to 10% pretty easy by 2025, but I think rents only go up. I think rents are pretty steadily up. And single family home rentals today, wow, there's nothing hotter. And I don't think that slows down. I really don't, especially in the suburbs. This is the question that is driving my previous answer. What do you think happens to the affordable housing stock in 2025? Now, this is affordable housing rentals. I think, again, you can answer these questions yourself. Just answer them on your piece of paper. But I think the availability of single family homes for rent in the affordable sector go down 10 to 15%. I was interviewed by, I guess it's a newspaper, the Business Journal, the other day about this CDC moratorium. And my point to the journalist was, hey, I understand it had to happen, but realize the unintended consequence of this order is we are going to have mom and pop landlords either A, lose properties, which would be horrible, but B, come March, April, May of next year, they're going to ask their tenants to leave. They're going to fix up their rental home and they're going to sell it. What did we see this week with existing home sales? Flying off the charts, no inventory, prices up 11, 12%. Mom and pop landlords are getting burned out. They've had enough of government intervention. The free market is not free. So whenever they can, which will happen next year sometime, many landlords are going to ask their tenants to leave because they're going to fix up the house and they're going to sell it to an owner. So why do I think rents are up 20%? It's because inventory is going to go way, way down. That is not a good thing for renters. Here's a big one. And if you follow this channel for any length of time, you know that I believe home ownership is good. I believe home ownership for the average American is a financial asset that they can use in their retirement. It is something that actually saved my family several times. When they needed some cash. They borrowed against a house when my parents were unemployed. Today, we're going to say, just for a round number, that home ownership is 66%. I believe the historical average is 65, but let's call today 66%. What do you think happens by 2025? Do you think it stays even? Do you think it goes down? Or do you think it goes up? So for me, I think it goes up. I really think we're seeing the largest population today, which is millennials, slowly change their behaviors from renters to owners. I think that picks up, doesn't slow down. So I think we're going to see home ownership go to 67.5 to 69% by 2025. Some of this will be landlords, as I just said in the previous slide, fixing up housing stock and selling it. But yeah, I think home ownership goes up. And again, I think that's a good thing. I also could see the federal government incenting home ownership with some kind of tax credit. So I see home ownership going up, not down. over the next 4.5 years. Here's a big one. Cost of capital, right? What do I talk about all the time on this channel? Consumers and cost of capital. Where do you think the 30-year interest rate will be by 2025? Assume today it's 3%. What do you think it is in 5 years? I don't know how it goes above 3%, but I called 3 to 3.5. You know, I think there's a chance it actually goes lower than that. But the short answer is I don't see interest rates moving. I see cheap money. I actually see cheap money for the entire decade, which I consider anything below 3.5% cheap money. I think that's going to be pretty common. Again, remember, you can answer these questions yourself, and I'd love to see a comment from you. Question 1, this. Question 2, this. Question 3, this. That would be wonderful. So let's switch gears, right? This is One Rental at a Time. This is Olivia and I's channel. So what are we doing? What are we doing in our business? We're still growing. So I have goals, what I think will happen. So how many units do we plan to add by 2025? I could see us adding somewhere between 40 and 80 units. You know, part of this could be some 1031 exchanges. Some of this could be just more and more houses. But yeah, I don't see how we don't add, you know, 8 to 10 units a year. Easy. So yeah, I'd say somewhere between 40 and 80 units. A couple of those could be apartments. A lot of those will be houses, though. I'm pretty big on houses today. Most important question. It's not unit count. I've said that over and over and over again. For me, it's cash flow. What do we see going on with our cash flow? It already is enough today. But again, always trying to grow it. If you've seen my weekly goals, which we talk about every Sunday, it's part of my 13-week goals to grow that. So what do I see happening by 2025? I am hopeful that we've added somewhere between 10 and 15 grand in monthly cash flow. You have to realize we can get monthly cash flow 3 ways. 1, we can add units, which we talked about earlier. 2, we can pay off debt. And 3, we can raise rents. Remember, we talked earlier that we thought rents would go up 20%. We can refi debt. We could pay off debt. And of course, we can add units. So again, this is the beauty of being in the rental game long-term, that you have those 3 levers you can pull. Next, how many students will be a part of my online course that I'm really proud of? How to start one rental at a time. This again is the thing that I'm most proud of. It documents our history. I sell it cheap. I give you access to me in a private Facebook group, and we do a Saturday mentoring session. So how many people do you think will be in the course by 2025? This is what I think. I think there'll be somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 students. I think people will be changing their financial futures. I think they will be following the one rental at a time. It's just, it works. We're living proof. More and more students are coming every week. And I really think there will be an inflection point where people go, you know what, this guy, he lives what he does. He is truly helping people. And I could see thousands of students a part of this, which would be a lot of fun. So I want to ask you, what do you hope to accomplish by 2025? How many units do you want? Is it 1? Is it 4? Is it 40? But more importantly, lots of people like to talk units on social media. But here's the real question. How much cash flow do you want to add? Right? If you have 2 grand today, how much do you want to add? This is all about net, right? What are you adding cash flow to your business? So I'd love to hear from you. What is it? How many units and how much cash flow do you want to add by 2025? Don't get distracted by all the talk of this year and next year and all of that. So let me ask you, what do you want to be doing by 2025? There's a lot of people on social media trying to scare you about next year. I think this next, I'm on record saying 2020 is not done with us yet. There's more pain to come. But that's the perfect time to learn. You don't just stick your head in the sand and wait for 2021. You learn, you observe, you grow your network. It's not how many people you know, but how many people know you. What are you looking for? Get a tight focus. I want to help you. This online course I have is clearly working for people. I'm very proud of it. If you want to check it out, just look at the outline, go to the student interviews playlist. I'm pretty proud of it. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to your answers because they may be different than mine. Thanks.